Okay, we are live. Um, just gonna wait a while for people to attend. I know it's not the best timing, so if you're watching the recording, that's completely fine as well. But I just want to do it today, right? I wanted to commit to what I'm doing for this Mastery Monday, right? So this is the first series of Mastery Monday. I'm not launching it for bang or like some perfect launch, but I just really wanted to get it done and get it focused, right? Because I have a class later, right, from about 7 p.m. So I just really wanted to do this. So for those watching this, that's great, right? If not, guys, I think we have a couple of people there. If you can hear me, you can just let me type yes in the comments, right? And then I'll get started right away. Right, I really don't see a lot of people. Don't expect a lot of people to be live, so that's great. So if any questions, I'll be there to answer you later as well. So that'll be great. Okay. Okay, let me just on my phone. Hi, Deborah. What's up? Right, has work ended? Right, I see Ryan is online as well. I see a couple of people online. So yeah, basically, I'm just going to get right into it because I have a class to focus on later. And so a couple of things I really wanted to share that I feel that would be really beneficial for whoever is watching, especially if you have attended UPW over the past 4 days. If not, right, there's still going to be a lot of value they're going to receive from this. So number one, right, I'm just going to go straight to it. And so number one, right, is for those who are going to take part in this Team Rash 5 weeks mastery challenge, right? So I think this is something that's going to be pretty interesting, right? So what happened? I think if you don't know, Rash actually put this launch, right, for people, especially if they've attended UPW, right, on 5 weeks of some of the routines and practices you can do to really master the life you want, right? So I think it's all the day to do with exercising, reading or listening an audiobook, right, giving, right, contributing, giving, whether it's time, encouragement, or money, right? And then there's also drinking water, 3 liters of water every day, right? And then I think really about let me say exercising or something. Yeah, so what happened is I think it's a great idea, right? I think what is going to happen is a lot of people are going to focus on that challenge because then it's really something more focused to implement on rather than just being confused. Hi Phyllis, what's up? Right, I think hi Sherry, right? Glad you guys are here at 6 p.m. I know it's not the most convenient timing, but that's great. You guys are here, right? And I'll just talk about a challenge, right? And what I'm going to share with you very quickly is I am going to be participating in this challenge as well, right? I just want to make a couple of tweaks to make sure that I get done into it and a few things, right? A few things to note when it comes to challenge. I think you guys would already know what's the photo about and all. For more details, challenge, check my Facebook profile. But really, right, to me, right, most of the things are pretty simple, right? So I think for exercising, right, for exercising and drinking water, right, it's really about doing it every single morning, right? Every morning, like I always talk about my morning routines, right? That is what I call my sacred time, and I'll never want to bargain on that. So every morning, right, I'll definitely be exercising, right, and I'll definitely be drinking a huge amount of water as well. But throughout the day, right, I can put reminders to myself every time I do a break to sip water, right? And so that's one thing that I feel that will be pretty direct to do. At the same time, every morning I will be taking time to learn, right? Usually I'll be watching online programs or doing a workshop or doing some stuff, but reading and listening to audiobooks is, to me, is pretty simple as well, right? So because what happened is I've been doing it for quite a while, so that part of the challenge is something that it has been automated inside, right? So it's the point where I don't need to rely on willpower anymore. So reading, right, and a few quick tips is really, and the last part is about fasting and giving. So giving, right, one thing I've done recently is every single morning, right, this thing you can do for yourself. Every single morning, right, as part of my routine, especially when I cool down from exercise, I would take the time to text someone, whether it's a friend, a loved one, right, my partner, right, on a text of encouragement, a text of love, a text of just like, hey guy, I hope everything is fine, hope you're doing well. And that's what I would do. And if you talk about giving, right, if you actually promise yourself to do it on a daily basis, right, you know the power of giving, right? And so yes, you can do it every Wednesday in terms of going time, giving money, right? But what I'll do is I will try to give in whatever way I can every single day, and that's something that I'm going to be committed to doing in the next 5 weeks as well, right? And then for fasting, I typically do a fast, but right now every morning, because I'm trying to get more nutrients in my body, right, I do drink a veggie smoothie every single morning with some nuts, right? So for fasting, right, I'll be just skipping breakfast maybe on Wednesdays. So that's what I'll be doing. And a few quick tips, right? Anticipate failure, right? A lot of people, when they go for a challenge, right, they go for a workshop, right, they try to be consistent and do a 30 days challenge, right? They assume, right? A lot of people have high hopes and high motivation. They assume that they're going to be way consistent every single day. But the thing is, most people, right, because we are human, right, our cells are actually programmed to save energy. Our brains are actually made to survive instead of to thrive. So it's going to be quite I would say inevitable that we fail or on some of our commitments, right, at times, and we don't achieve everything that we want in terms of the action. So anticipate failure and we're going to create backup plans for them, right? So sometimes maybe it's morning, something cropped up, right? And hey, can I put some time into afternoon to night to do it as well? Don't just tell yourself because morning I can't do it, I fail, right? Like what are some of the alternative timings you can do and really just commit to it? That's something that we'll really do. And anticipate in terms of preparing for the next day activities. For example, decide on the book that you're going to read, right? Decide on the book you're going to read, right? What exercise are you going to do? And those type of stuff, when you put it there, right, you don't have to think about it next morning because all you have to do is just to wake up and just press the video, right? Do the exercise and just do it. So what I'm going to do, especially I do in the morning, right? Following my strategy in the morning, right, is to really reduce as much remove as much action or momentum needed to take the particular action. So when the veggie juice, a veggie smoothie, right, you can actually do it the night before, right? Put it in the fridge, you can drink it as well. So those are the few things that I really highly recommend to actually plan out your actions way in advance. So when the time calls out to do it, right, you don't need additional willpower. Okay, so that's my huge tip for people who are actually doing that. And thirdly, is really have accountability, whether it's joining the RASH group, right? Whether it's having an accountability buddy or putting it on Instagram or Facebook, or even hi Thomas, what's up, right? Hi Thomas, all right, good, you're here, bro, right? And accountability in terms of, hey, if I fail to do any of these challenges more than one day in a row, right, I'll give $100 to charity, for example, right? I'll give $100 to charity I don't like or I don't agree with, right? So there's the pain of doing it. So when you put all this accountability inside you, right, the probability of success is going to be much way higher. So that's something that I would really highly recommend for a lot of people to do, right? If you really want to maximize your probability or chances of completing the 5-week mastery challenge. And guys, right, 5 weeks is actually a great period of time. 5 weeks is there to push you the momentum, right? Because most people can feel motivated the first week, second week, third week, but usually on the 4th and 5th week, right, that's when people start falling behind. That's when people start feeling demotivated. So that's something I highly recommend you for you to participate. Right, I'll be doing it too, and can see how I go about doing it. Okay, so guys, if you receive some good value, right, just hopefully more people can watch. Can you just help me type yes, right, if you have received some value from this little part of sharing on how I would actually make sure that I maximize my probability, maximize my chances of completing and acing this entire challenge. One quick thing I will add though into this challenge, if you can, right, if you could, right, is to actually add this piece of mindfulness or prayer or meditation inside. Whether it's from Tony Robbins' priming exercise, right? I think these are some of the things that I would do, right, to really support you in your journey as well. So Thomas says yes, that is great. And hi Sam, what's up? Right, so Sam says yes, that's great as well. Okay, hey Phyllis says yes. Okay, so really, like, if you have meditation, mindfulness, right, those guys, the top billionaires do it, the CEOs do it, the top athletes, performers do it. So why not we? It's one of the best strategies, right? Mindfulness, right? You can read up on 6-phase meditation or the Tony Robbins priming exercise, which I do as well. All right. Okay, so next one, I'm going to share with you my biggest problem and issue with UPW. Right, so UPW, Unleash the Power Within, from Tony Robbins. I think a lot of you know about the Tony Robbins stuff, right? And what was it about? And I have a huge problem with it, right? I'm going to share with you today, right? And one of the biggest problem was day 4, right? And it's not about the content, right? I feel the content is great. I feel the content is powerful, right? And it's things that really, right, if you implement, because I've been implementing some of them, right, it can really change the amounts of energy, right, the vitality you have in your life, right? So right now, I don't drink coffee. I haven't been drinking coffee for like maybe 3 to 4 months, right? Myself, and someone I used to love coffee. I used to drink lots of coffee every single day, maybe 2 cups, 3 cups a day. But right now, I drink 0 coffee at all. Right, and one of the best things is do because I implemented whatever they shared. But the problem with day 4, right, is because the information is so overwhelming, right? It's so overwhelming, right, that people don't actually commit to it, or people just fall off after a while, right? Yes, drinking water is great, right? Drinking oxygen, exercising is great, but everything else, right? Whether is it taking a lot more water-rich foods, right, and putting wheat grass into your diet, right? Emphasizing going to chiropractor, right? I need to talk about that. Avoiding dairy, right? The thing is, yes, I know the information, everything, but really, in terms of a lifestyle change, is so difficult. But there's like 1,000 things at once, right? Even a 10-day challenge, my thing, it wasn't that effective, right? So that's my biggest problem and issue with it, right? And 2 years ago, I went for UPW. I tried to implement some of the stuff, but it was so freaking difficult, right? But right now, it's a lot more easy because there was this one program that I attended, and it was called WildFit. Right, so WildFit was this program that was implemented. It was taught by this guy called Eric Mendes, right? I learned it from Mind Valley, right? And it was really inspired by the content and sharing that was from UPW Day 4. And now when I use it, right, and what happened is it's a 90-day program, right? And it's not like they'll immediately tell you the 101 things you must do to change your life, to change your lifestyle, right? They do it via incremental changes, and they design it specifically, right, and very precisely to make sure that you will implement and you will keep to the entire program. So, for example, the first program is really not about changing your whole lifestyle and also just about drinking more water, eating more veggies. But over the time, it becomes a lot it becomes more like the more challenging stuff they do. So right now, I avoiding dairy, right? I avoid dairy, right? I eat way less fried food. I think I probably cut my sugar intake by maybe about 80%, right, since 3 to 4 months ago, right? Fried foods has went down. It went a bit up recently, right? But I think generally has went down as well, right? And yeah, dairy, I don't touch. Ice cream, maybe 1 week I eat like half one quarter of a cup, right? Not saying I'm not perfect there, but like compared to what I heard all this 2 years ago, right? Whatever you heard at UPW Day 4, they didn't really change it, right? But it was through the program WildFit. And one thing I would say is don't whether as you want to find out more, you can PM me about the program, right? I don't really earn a fee, but like instead of trying to do 100 changes, can you just do it on a more sustainable manner? Okay, so guys, if you like that, just let me type yes if you like that in the chat as well. I hope that is useful. And then I will go on to number 3, right? And number 4, right? I have 2 more quick points before I end off this sharing and proceed to my class. Okay, so guys, if you receive this, if you like this part, you can just help me type yes, right? And go number 3 because I'm pretty excited for number 3, right? The next thing I'm going to share about, right, is what most self-development books have never talked to you about, and like, trust me, I've read a lot of them. Is what most self-development programs, gurus, speakers have not talked about, right? And it's so freaking powerful and useful. I'm wondering why does no one talk about it? And it's going to be useful for you whether you're an entrepreneur, right? You're doing a side hustle, or even you're a full-time employee, right? You're a student, right? And I feel this is something that needs to be talked about way more often, right? So if you like this, right, guys, if you like what I'm going to share next, right, I only encourage you to share this more with your friends, your family, to just share whatever you learn. Okay. And so I'm going to share with you a bit more about UPW and for those who never attended, and they say about this one thing called priming. Right, and what happens? Tony Robbins says every morning, right, he listens to this routine, right, and he primes himself to execute and to be as productive and effective as he can throughout the day, right? So what you're grateful for, right? What are things you're looking forward to? Focus on breathing, right? Meditation, mindfulness, right? And so that's great, right? But one thing that most gurus, most speakers, most personal development people, right, which I learned from this mentor called Melvin So, I think some of you know him, and it's this concept of what I call discharge. We get to prime ourselves, right? We prime ourselves to get started the day, but most people they don't have a practice or routine to what I call discharge, or to relieve themselves, or to ease the tension or ease the stress that they face throughout the day, right? So what happens after a very intense sales meeting, right? What do you think most people do after a very intense sales meeting, or even after intense sharing, or even after intense work, and they take a break? What do you think most people do? Right? For times I'm just go straight to it. Most people just use their phone and check social media, right? So we have become so conditioned to the phones, right? If you watch Social Dilemma, you know that our breaks, right, whether it's in between work, right, after work, right, going to after a sales presentation, an intense meeting, right, our first thing we'll do is look at our phone, look at our emails, right? And that is not the concept of discharging, right? Because what happens is when you look at the phone, you look at social media, more emails, right? You are actually keeping your brain stressed out, continue to be stressed out, right? Your brain is still stimulated, right? You're still stressed, you're still thinking about stuff. And actually one of the best things to do, right, which can help you create sustainability and long run, which is something that I've heard about, but I've never practiced till very recently, is to discharge. And the first thing you need to do is not to use your phone and not to use social media. Because your brain is really intense, right? And you're going to put it with more phones, more laptop, more emails, right? You're going to be even more stressed and more stimulated. And because of that, right, you don't take a break, you don't rest, right? And you're going to be a lot more tired throughout the day. You're not resting and you're not planning for the next task again. So that's number one. I won't use social media, but what I'll do is I'll close my eyes and I'll take deep breaths. Right, so you can check it out. You can do another meditation track, 5 minutes or 10 minutes if you have more time. But if not, that's fine. Right, there's this thing called box breathing. Go and check it out, box breathing. Or what Eric Mendes from Wallfit also taught me is this 5x5 breathing method, right? 5x5 breathing method. That means what happened is I breathe in for 5 counts, I hold it for 5 seconds, and I breathe it out. Right? Hold it for 5, then I hold another 5 seconds, I breathe in 5 seconds. Right? And so you can Google it, you can YouTube the link, it's called 5x5 breathing, or you can do box breathing as well. It's up to you. Right? But really what you do is instead of just checking social media and stimulating your brain, it's just to breathe, right? Get the cells and to ground and to center yourself again. And that really helps. Close your eyes, put it in a dark room, whatever, eye mask if you want, right? To really shut off your brain to rest, right? And so that's number one, right? Deep breathing to really just ground yourself, center yourself instead of stimulating your brain again. And next one, right? Next one, this one, as I learned, this one is all credits to Melvin So, right? I think a lot of you know, is in your mind, right? Yes, you're doing a deep breath, but to take that time to acknowledge yourself, right? To do self-acknowledgement, right? To say, okay, good job, right? Then don't think about like what you can improve on. Just self-acknowledge yourself. Just say, okay, good job, you did a good one, right? You put in your energy, you put in your power, good job, right? And not thinking about how you can improve. That you can do it after you do this whole entire routine, right? And what you're gonna do is you just give yourself, your brain, your nervous system, good feelings, right? Good feelings, hit, where is it, dopamine and whatnot, right? And you feel good about what you do, right? Just take your time, chill, right? And that makes you feel better, makes you feel more motivated and driven for moving forward. Okay, right. So that's very important, right? To self-acknowledge yourself. I think Singaporean Asians do struggle with it, but that's something that really, really helped. And I only did it for the past 2 to 3 days. I think it really supported me in like feeling good and not being so burnt out, right? And so next one, right, is to set your intention for the next task if you have, right? So if you do it in between intense tasks and whatever, right? So after you say, okay, good job, right? That's good. And okay, so next one, I'm going to be speaking at a 3-hour class later. Right, and why am I doing this is because I really want to impact people, right? This is my movement, right? And to do what not? I'm doing this to earn money for my family, right? And to really just set intention for the next task, right? And why is it so important, right? Just set not just what you need to do, but why you want to do it and why do you want to do such a great job of it. So all this is doing while you're breathing, you're closing your eyes, you're being calm, you're being chill, right? And that's how you're going to put yourself with a lot more energy for the next part. Okay, so next part, so after that, then you can shower, right? You can do a shower to break your state. You can do a cold shower, hot shower, up to you. Or if you have time, you can exercise as well, right? Depending on the time, right? But if not, you can do some jumping up. You can prime yourself, play some big songs, right? Just move around, jump around, right? Drink water, go to the toilet, right? And come back, change your state, and then you move on to the next task or you move on to your next activity for the day, right? So guys, if you found that, for those who have been hearing, if you found that has been useful, right? Like this is something that people don't talk about, right? And when I heard it, I was like, damn, I must share it with as many people as I can. Because I think what happens is a lot of people, they go through the day, right? They go through a 10,000 tasks, right? They just bulldoze it. Yes, might take breaks, right? But most people breaks what? They use social media. And that because their brains are not resting at the same time. So whether it's going to the toilet, right? Doing it in your own desk, closing your eyes, right? You're at home, most people should do it, better do it now, right? But to really just take your time to switch off your brain, acknowledge yourself and set your intention on the next task, and then to see if you can break your state by showering and all, right? And do you think it's important, right? What do most people do, right? Even let's say the COVID is over and people go to work normally, right? What do most people do? When they finish their work at 6 p.m., they straight away take their stuff, right? They go back home, they take the transport. And what do most people do? They check their phone. And that's why people are constantly stressed throughout the day because they don't take a time for their brain to recharge. And I realize this is one of the causes why people burn out. This is why I've been burning out, because I've been trying to bulldoze my way, pushing through. But I think this is so powerful. So guys, if you think this is powerful, right, guys, and you want to practice it, just help me type me. Just type me in the chat if you think that this is something that you can consider doing. Right? Before your next activity, to set your intention for the next. I'm going to be talking a lot more about this in the coming weeks, months, because I feel that a lot more people could learn from this. But try out for yourself and let me know how it could work for you. Okay? So discharge is powerful, right? I think that's something I really, really wanted to just learn. Okay, so have me type me in the chat if you think that's something that you can really consider and do for yourself, right? And I'll move on to my final point. That's great. Philip says me. Abdul says me. Hi, Adeline. What's up? Hi, Adeline. Right, Philip says me. That's great. All right. Hi, Sherry. Right, Sherry says me as well. So that's powerful. So, guys, right? Especially for those goal-getters, high achievers, right? Like really take some time, 5 minutes between each task, right? Most people I know, Brandon Burchard, I learned from Brandon Burchard, say an average about 50 to 55 minutes, right? You should take a break, and this is something they can use to do it, take a break for yourself, right? And it works. It works. Okay, that is great. I see a few more people coming. Leonard is here. That's great. Okay, so guys, if you are coming late, I talk about a couple of things, right? Feel free to watch the recording, but I think it's really very useful and powerful stuff. And these things that like your guru speakers, even UPW doesn't talk about, right? So for those who have heard about it from the start, you know I'm talking about that. I'm sharing about things that can really enhance your experience, right? Whether you have attended UPW or not, but really it's things that people don't talk about enough. Okay, right, so number four, I'm going to share with you my biggest investment so far, right? And some of you have an idea of it, some of you don't, that's fine, right? So initially when I was trying to, wanted to share about it, right, I assume that most people would think it's an investment, right? It's an investment, it's a deal, right? So just for the benefit, just for additional bonus, my biggest investment, right, isn't a stock investment, right? It's not a stock investment. I think some of you might have expected, some of you might have known, but I'm just going to share with you my biggest stock/option investment anyway, right? Just for sake of it, just as a bonus. And right, is this one company called Shopify, right? Is one company called Shopify, right? And it's because why it's really into the e-com space. There's a lot more demand on it. Drop shipping is growing, e-com is growing, right? People are going to be way more reliant on deliveries in the coming months, years, right? And right, a lot of entrepreneurs are coming out during this entire period, right? And the company is someone that has grown and they are backed by a wonderful management quality, right? And hey, recently they raised funds, right? I think they raised another round, but they only diluted their share by 1%, and there was a huge downdrag. So to me, technical wise, they're not as strong as they should be, right? As in, it is not very bullish, right, in terms of the technicals. But my take is in the long run, it will still go up, right? And that's my biggest investment for Shopify. The other company is actually pretty big, right? It's actually called it's Garena, right? So both is in the e-com space. But Garena, why is it so big right now? My portfolio is so freaking big, right? My returns of Shopify of Garena is as if it was an option, right? Imagine my investment option. But what happened for this company called Shopify, right? For Garena is that the returns were so huge that right now is also the biggest chunk of my portfolio right now. Okay, so there's my investment one. Just for those people who are just curious to find out what's my two biggest investments so far, right? The third one that I'm coming up, right? Please do your own due diligence, guys. The one that's coming up is this company called CrowdStrike. And I think next week, I think first week of October, I will be interviewing Mr. Jonathan Ang, right, on this company called CrowdStrike. Right, so you can find out more about it. But I think he has it on his YouTube channel, and or if you need his link, just drop me a PM. I'll send it to you. Okay. All right. So my biggest investment so far, it was really in response to what's happening this year. Right, it's happening this year because there's a lot of overwhelm. There's so much overload going on, right? And a lot of problems are happening, right? Bill Gates believes that the end of coronavirus will end only in end of 2021, right? There's a wave 3 coming up for countries like Hong Kong. Malaysia is locking down until end of the year, right? America is facing not even a resurgence, it's just going up and up, right? And so the whole thing of COVID, right, as much as yes, it's not the most fatal disease going on, right, it's going to cause a lot of governments, people, citizens in fear, right? And so what happens is it's going to be a huge crisis for people who do not know how to adapt, right? One of Singapore's ministers, Chan Sing, has already hinted that if you do not adapt and all you're taking is a wait and see approach and a pray and hope COVID goes away approach, right, you are screwed, right? This is a recession like no other, right? It's not like 1997, it's not like a Great Recession where you pray and hope it goes away, right? Like there's going to be fundamental shifts, right? And unless people take advantage of it, they really adapt, right? They're going to get screwed, right? And so what happened is, at the same time, right, a lot of people are taking huge advantage of this entire opportunity, right, to really just go to take advantage extremely well. Some of you might have already got a taste of it in terms of investments, but in terms of business as well, right, a lot of people are struggling, right, a lot of people are facing challenges, right, and which is why, right, through some of the returns I've gained this year, right, this entire year has been a breakthrough in terms of some income, some of my stuff, which I'm very, very grateful for. But I wanted to reinvest it for greater growth, greater impact, and greater value to the people around me. Right, I want to learn more, I learn from the best of the best, which is why I think some of you know, I think Thomas also shared it with everybody, which is why I joined a coaching program, right, by Melvin So. I think a lot of you have watched his interview with me. I think people loved it, right? And so recently I invested $25,000, right? So one shot, pump, painful investment, right? To join that coaching program, right? And not only to gain like more guidance, perspective, right? Some of the content, right? On really how do I thrive in today's world? Because right now I'm going full on into promoting the master implementer movement, right? Trying to get as many people to be massive action takers, right? To be as consistent as they can, right? To achieve their desired goals and dreams, right? But really it's also the network and communities there, right? There are a lot of high people there, right? People who have been serving lawyers, clients, Alibaba, right? Some of the biggest coaches and speakers around, right? And really to network with them, to learn from them, right? And also to translate all that information and content, right? That can help and support you guys as well. So that is something that I'm very excited about, right? 25,000, it's really no big, right? And right now, I think with a lot of uncertainty going on in my life, but hey, right, I'm doing this because I'm committed, right, to making sure that I can create as much value for the community and you guys, whoever is watching out for the next couple of years and beyond. All right, so with that, right, I am just going to do a very quick announcement. I'm not going to do a sales pitch because I'm ending my sharing very soon, right, which is that recently, right, I think if you're in my group, some of you might have heard, or if you are in my No More Overload training, right, I recently launched a 2-day masterclass, right, a 2-day masterclass, right, for the first time, right, a master implementer blueprint masterclass. Is not for content, right, it's really for us to do the exercise together, for do the action, to design, to give you a personalized blueprint, right, towards your success in life, right? So this is the first of its kind. I really don't think I've seen any other programs like it, right? And why I want to do it, right, is really because I know that people are struggling, people are getting overwhelmed, people are getting stuck in this entire period of information overload, right? And the thing is, it's going to happen even more for people. And this is going to be a life skill of massive and effective implementation to help people, right, be ultra productive and effective in everything that they do, right? Whether it's in your relationships, your health, your wealth, right? And that's something I'm going to do. And because this is the first time I'm launching it, right, it will be a very affordable investment, right? I don't get rich from launching this club, but this is the first time. And my only request for people who join this is really, hey, if you got some value out of it, right, to just share in terms of feedback and testimonial so more people can benefit from it as well. So if anyone's interested, right, I'll put a link in the comments, right? It's tinyurl.com /Marc interest. Let me just put it there, right? If you're interested, only if you're interested, right? And only if you meet some of the criteria that I've put up for you. Hey, hi, thanks, Thomas. You get multiple returns. Well, let's see, right? I'm committed to it, right? And the clock is ticking. It's a 1-year mentorship, right? So really it's for me to accelerate my growth, to push as much and give as much value as I can, right, during this period. But if you're interested, right, go to that link, tinyurl.com /Marc interest. If you know anyone that might be interested, who might be feeling a little stuck, right, or confused, right, during this period, and they have the information, right? A lot of us Singaporeans, we are smart, right? We're Malaysian, we are smart, we are people, we are hardworking, we have a desire, but just sometimes we need that tweak, we need that change of direction and focus, right, to really achieve the kind of things that we want. So with that, if you're interested, right, just go to that link, tinyurl.com /Marc interest. Really, right, if you want to gain that personal action plan and blueprint towards your success, right? And I want get personalized feedback, and then the bonus is there'll be a 4 weeks implementation, a group coaching and accountability session, right, after the 2 days class as well. So it's not just about 2-day class, bye-bye, right, go off, but there'll be a 4 weeks group coaching, clarity call, and accountability session at the same time, right, to really support people, to give that momentum, right? So we will be there to push. Hi, Phyllis. Yes, I know you registered, so that's great. I'll see you at the class, right? So guys, if you're interested, put your link there, and that's what I will do. So guys, I think with that's the first edition of Mastery Mondays, right? Let me know in the comments if you liked it, if you enjoyed the session, right? And those who came late, right, guys, you got to watch the first part of it, right? Go watch the recording, right? I share with you my exact routine schedules, right, and my tips for people who are completing any challenge, right, not just the 5 weeks challenge by Team Rex, but any challenge, right, to really boost your life and to achieve that success, right? What's the biggest problem I have with UPW, right, which is something that I see over and over again for the past 3 years. One huge concept and practice that 99% of the personal development gurus, speakers, right, coaches don't ever talk about, right, which I've been practicing, and it's got me a tremendous results, and I just shared about my biggest investment so far, right? So that's why I did, and that's great, right? Thanks, Thomas, right? Thanks, Sam. So guys, if you like the sharing, just let me type yes. If you enjoyed the sharing, that would be great. That will really help. That will really help support me. And I'll try to do this every single Monday, right? So at least you guys have a usual schedule to expect, right? I think I've gotten quite a lot of feedback from other people that hey, like I'm like random and share mine. So just schedule one slot to really just give value every single Monday, right? Especially why? Because Monday there are Monday blues. People are not used to it, right? And for me to just give as much value as I can. So guys, if you liked it, just let me type a yes in the chat, right? And if you have any specific questions, right, I'll just stay on for a couple more minutes to answer any questions you guys have, and then I'll run off. I'll prepare for my next class at I think 7:15 p.m. Okay, I'm just gonna wait a bell. Right, my pleasure, Adeline. Right, I hope you enjoyed the sharing. Okay, yes, I'm gonna wait a while more. The markets are down today. So tonight should be great. Right. Yeah, usually I won't do it at 6 p.m. I'll try to do it at later timing, but because today I have a class, I really wanted to, but I still wanted to come on board instead of waiting one more week for it. And these are the things that have been in my mind. So I really want to share it while it's still fresh in my head. Okay. Hey, my pleasure, Wallace. Right. Glad you enjoyed it. Right. Okay. So with that, I'm going off. I hope you guys enjoyed the stuff. And yeah, I think I'm good. So I'll see you soon, guys, and take care. And yeah, bye, guys. So, okay, we have a question that's great before I run off. Hi, Sam. Not sure if it's relevant, but how do you prime yourself to meditate? Marc. Okay. Yo, Ting Yang, what's up? Okay. All right. So, Sam has a great question. So, what I do is, I used to do Headspace, right? This app called Headspace, but I realized it's more of mindfulness only, which is great, right? It helps you ease your mind, right? Ground yourself. So that's great. I used to do it especially when I was at university when I was feeling pretty stressed for this one short period of time. But one thing I do is I just put on a track and then I just do it. So in the morning I wake up, I wash up. Right, I wash up. I don't think anymore when I do it because right now it's so automated. So I wash up, I drink water, right? I always drink water. I wash up, I do some stretches, right? Just some simple stretches, and then straight away I put on my earphones, right? I put on my earphones and then I put on YouTube. It's a recorded. I have a YouTube Premium, so I download it. If not, you can download to your phone directly, and then I just listen to the track. So I usually have two tracks that I choose from. First is the 6-Phase Meditation by Vishen Lakhiani, and number 2 is the Priming Routine by Tony Robbins. So that's one thing I would do. Right, and that's how I prime myself every single day. So I don't do it by myself, my own head. Right, I really do it by using a resource by someone else. So I leverage off the meditation track, the mindfulness track for it, and that really helped me because it's like 3 or 4 in one. It's not just mindfulness; it's about being grateful, and gratefulness is one of the most powerful feelings in earth in the world. Right, I envision myself for my future. Right, I think in priming is like as if you're blessing someone, so you feel good when you bless someone as well, and that's what I do. Okay. Hi, Tinga, what's up? Right. Hope all is good, bro. I think work ended is why you are here. Listen to podcasts yourself. Yeah, podcast is great, but podcast is a lot of information. Right. When you do priming, right? When I talk about the same, it's about you grounding yourself and setting yourself for your intention for the day. It's not about sucking in information yet. So yes, you can listen to podcasts later in the day when you're learning, right? And all. But the first part of the day, first 1 hour of the day or so, right? I don't absorb new information. Right, all I do is I prime myself, I ground myself, I set my intentions for the day. So Sam, I hope that helped. And one thing I do, and that's before sucking in more information, right? Before listening to podcasts, is I also journal, right? So one thing I've journaled is I have the high performance planner that I use, but you can use the 5-minute app journal as a start as well. Right? So this one is a bit intense, right? So I had a bit of challenges keeping to it, but right now it's a lot better in the past 3 weeks. Okay, right. So with that, I'm off, guys. Take care, and any questions? Right, I'll be here every Monday, probably 7:30, 8 p.m. Right, I do want to eat dinner as well, right? On normal time. So with that, today's Mastery Mondays, right? The first ever edition. I'm out.